Welcome to the 49-Yard Dash Podcast, a podcast on your San Francisco 49ers who are in the playoffs, hosted by myself and, of course, my good friend Josh LeBon, who you can find at gbmwolverine.com. And we will have some exciting news at the end of this podcast, too. But before we get to that, Josh, how you doing, my man?
Doing good, man. Made the playoffs. Michigan's been eliminated from the playoffs, and Urban Meyer's not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, living the dream, man.
2 out of 3.
The big three, man. 2 out of 3. One eliminated, one in play, and one was never in the conversation. We're doing great, man.
Heck yeah.
Como se dice, living the dream.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And what a game that was. As anybody who actually pays attention to our Twitter account might know, we had no podcast last week. Me and Josh were both struck with the China virus, as they call it.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, we were both sick last week, so neither of us felt like talking for an hour online. So we didn't do a podcast last week, and we didn't review the Titans game, which, to be honest, I can't say that I'm really sad that we didn't get to talk about that game because it was very disappointing. But this game, on the other hand, what a game.
What a game.
You know what? It wasn't the Titans game. It was the Texans game we didn't get to review. We did get to review the depressing
Starts
Titans
with a
game.
T.
Close enough.
I see. It was so insignificant. I already forgot. So.
Well, that game was actually pretty good. Trey Lance second start, but we're not here to talk about that today.
We're just riding high.
We're talking about the 49ers punching in their ticket into the playoffs. And man, was it close. Man, was it close. What an emotional roller coaster of a game. To drop down to a 17-0 deficit, everybody calling to make the quarterback switch, which I totally understand why they were. Season felt like it was over. We thought this next podcast, or at least the following one, would probably be about off-season needs, draft time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
49ers find a way to come back and win it. I mean, can you just describe to me what this game did to you?
There's one word I could describe it as.
And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. What's that?
I remember that. It got quieter, but I know what that is. The Indianapolis
Playoffs.
We'd be lucky to
I
win
just
the
hope we win a
game.
freaking game.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
I remember that.
That's what I think about this freaking game, Stephen L.
That was unbelievable.
I think we're in the playoffs. I think that's where we're at.
We are.
I think we're in the playoffs.
Or as Brandon Ayuk said on the live stream, we in the offs.
Ayuk. Ayuk. In the words of God, who was it? I want to forget now. No, it was some athlete, and they said, "We are good."
Oh.
God, who said that? I'm going to forget now. But it was a professional athlete. No, but it was a professional athlete. This was last season. It was my favorite quote of all time. And I already forgot the worthless athlete's name. But it was a text he sent to one of the Barstool Sports guys after they won the game. And he said, "We are good," after they won the game. And that's what we are. We are good.
We are good.
We are good. We are good. And we have won a game. We have won a game, and we are in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
This game was one of the most, I said roller coaster already, but just the mixed emotions up and down. Again, feeling like the season was over, 17-0. But the turning point of this game, the Rams had the ball.
It was the second Jimmy Garoppolo pick. Sorry.
That was the second turning point. No.
Okay.
Because there were like 8 turning points.
Go ahead.
No, but really, the Rams had the ball with like 2 minutes left or something like that, and a sack. Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead both they shared the sack on third down. The 49ers get the ball back and are able to put 3 points up before halftime. At that point, it was like 2-possession game. Maybe something can happen. But a quick shout out. Can you believe that Sean McVay ran into the end zone to celebrate when it was 17-0? It's not even halftime yet. How premature and stupid was that?
Well, he's also like, have you seen Toy Story, the original?
Yeah,
You've seen Toy Story? Yeah. Have you seen Toy Story 2?
I think so.
In Toy Story?
I'm pretty sure
I
I've
bet you've
seen all of them.
You've seen them all. You've seen them all.
So.
You remember the buzz cut kid who keeps all the toys in his attic?
Yeah.
That's Sean McVay. And he jumped the gun thinking he had Woody and Buzz locked in his attic forever. And he was just going to celebrate with them. He thought he had, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers locked in his attic forever, and he was going to celebrate.
He really did.
He jumped the gun. He ran into the end zone, and the rep even warned him. He's like, "Get out!"
He's like, "What are you doing?
Like,
Get the heck out of here!"
and then McVay's response was "Paka, paka," and then returned to his sideline. He flew away. He fluttered away in his little crow wings and fluttered back to the sideline. I mean, he's an odd guy.
He is. He is an odd guy.
But
he forgot that his dad was coaching on the other side.
Yeah. Who's his dad again?
Kyle.
Kyle who?
Shanahan.
My God.
Shanahan, man.
Let me give you a Shanahan on that one, sir.
Absolutely.
Good job on that one. No, McVay was like a little crow. He was a little vulture hovering around the sideline, thought he saw some roadkill, figured he would take his little 5'5" beak and peck at it a little bit. Turns out it wasn't dead.
No.
And came back to bite him in the rear end.
It's like the freaking Undertaker, man. Just rose from the
Undertaker.
dead. And then to start the second half, opening up with that drive and the Deebo Samuel touchdown pass to Juwan Jennings. Man,
Beautiful.
What a play that was. That was awesome.
That was like Lizzo at the Grammys.
Wait, was it that one? What is that?
One?
It was? Or was that the next? Because Jennings had two.
No, it was that one.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It was that one.
All right. Okay. All right. Wait, I don't think it was. I think the Deebo pass is what tied it at 17-17. Deebo ran for a touchdown to make it 10-17. Then Deebo threw the touchdown to make it 17-17.
Like I said, Lizzo at the Grammys.
On Locked On 49ers, Brian Peacock, he mentioned this on their Rapid React on Sunday evening, but he was talking about how once the game was tied up at 17-17, the camera moved to the Rams sideline, and the facial expressions of the Rams players looked like they were down 20 points because they could just feel the momentum.
Hashtag dejected.
True that. And man, what a showing by the fans too. There was a lot of red in that stadium.
I saw one of them on TikTok.
You did?
Even my wife, who's not a football fan, happened to find 49ers fans. That's how much they had penetrated SoFi Stadium. They penetrated it so much that they even found their way to non-football fan TikTok. That's how big the showing was from 49ers fans.
It was a home game. And it was loud. Even on TV, it was loud.
It was loud.
On third down.
In the words of, I think, Shakira, and if I'm wrong in this, I'm going to be racist, but I'm pretty sure Shakira's saying it. Shakira said, "Let's get loud. Let's get loud." And that's exactly what it was.
I can't say I know if that. I can nor confirm nor deny that was Shakira because I don't remember.
Good enough to me. We're not going to get copyrighted if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Yeah, true.
That was a loud stadium. You could hear it on TV. It was a game I didn't have to pirate illegally, hypothetically. I was able to watch on my local broadcast. It was a great opportunity for me. Got to hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in real time without a 10 to 15 second delay. And just an awesome, awesome atmosphere for me to sit on my couch with a couple beers in hand and cheer along with the rest of the 60,000 plus fans in SoFi Stadium.
And make
felt
the
like
playoffs.
I was there.
Get in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
We're there.
I'm
Yeah.
absolutely pumped for it, and we're going to get into that a bit more. Go ahead.
What was, just reviewing the game,
Uh-huh.
what was your, aside from the game clinching play,
Uh-huh.
what was your favorite play of the day? One play in particular. I tell you what, non-scoring, non-turnover, favorite play of the day.
Okay. And it can't be on the final drive either.
You can count the final drive, just
Okay.
not a scoring play, not a play in which the 49ers recovered a turnover.
Okay, then the pass to Deebo Samuel on the last drive that didn't score, but on the right sideline, Deebo caught it and juked out one defender, took off, juked out another defender, started to take off, but got tripped up. That play was just awesome. And that dude is so thick and strong, yet able to change direction so well. He is such a weapon after the catch. He's unbelievable. That was my favorite play with those qualifications.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I wanted to look up what time it was at, but third quarter, first drive, that ends up resulting in a score. Jimmy Garoppolo to Brandon Ayuk for 31 yards.
That was a good
down
one,
inside, almost to the red zone. That was the first moment of the day where it felt like, all right, we got a chance. We're back in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the moment I no longer leaned back in the chair, but in fact, I brought it to a sitting position instead of a laying position. So I was no longer relaxed. I was tense, which was an improvement on the early part of the game.
That actually reminds me. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. My tweet the following day. Let's see. Let me just screen share this bad boy real quick.
That deserves some likes.
I know it really does, but I'm not. I really should be more active on Twitter, but I tweet like once a week. So I need to
good tweet.
Thank you. I thought it was
Hashtag good tweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sidebar, and you're welcome. And sidebar, when I was active on Twitter, I would only retweet, like, and then comment good tweet on tweets that I thought were good tweets.
That's awesome.
That was hashtag good tweet.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Well,
I like that. That's a high quality tweeter right there.
High quality tweeter. Tweet.
What was crazy about this game to me is, again, falling down 17-0, tying up the game. You have all the momentum. And then here in the fourth quarter, getting the ball with about 12 minutes. With about 8 minutes left in the game, Jimmy Garoppolo throws a very ill-advised pass in triple coverage that he threw behind George Kittle that ends up being picked off in the end zone. Fortunately, Jalen Ramsey took it out of the end zone, so he was tackled at the 8. The Rams go on to score with 2:29 left. So after all that, falling behind, coming back, driving down the field, a Jimmy G pick, and then a score. And honestly, I thought, wow, after all that, not only the 49ers season, but Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure with the Niners is going to end on that. What a crazy ending to this guy's career with this team. And somehow, they went 3 and out after that. Forced the 3 and out, got the ball back with 1:34 and no timeouts.
Correct.
Able to put the ball in the end zone and tie the game.
Correct.
I mean, just an unbelievable turn of events. This is one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
It reminds me of was it Marv Albert calling the Spurs Heat game?
Yeah.
Ray Allen from 3.
Yeah.
Bang! That's what it felt like, man.
Wait, Mike Breen does the bang, right?
It was Mike Breen.
Mike Breen. He's the bang guy. So
yeah, thanks for ruining it.
Oh, well.
Marv Albert's the TNT guy. Yeah. Sorry, Mike Breen. Bang! Mike Breen would have loved this moment because this was a bang bang moment. This was a bing bing. This was bing bing because our initial bing was on the Garoppolo pick, and then our secondary bing, which makes the bing bing, was when Garoppolo throws it to Juwan Jennings, who is immediately just the future. JJ.
Yes.
JJ 1-5.
JJ 1-5.
Just the future. Just the future. Just the future. He is the slot receiver we hope Jalen Hurd would be. We talked about him in the preseason. We wondered if Juwan Jennings had the potential to be the oversized tight end slot wide receiver mismatch that they thought Jalen Hurd would be. We even talked about Jalen Hurd, and we both mentioned we didn't think he'd be healthy enough to play this year. And we both like Juwan Jennings. And here he is showing up and showing out on the last drive of the game, tie it up with less than 30 seconds left inside the red zone. Complete mismatch. Just manhandles it. And in the words of Mike Breen, bang! We're tied up with 26 seconds left. When your life flashes before your eyes as a 49ers fan with less than 30 seconds of game time evaporating here between the touchdown by the Rams and the touchdown. Was it just at 30 seconds or when was it? Let's see. It was a minute 33. It was a minute 33 when the Rams punted. And the 49ers scored with 26 seconds left.
Yeah.
So it was just over a minute. So your life is flashing before your eyes as a 49ers fan. The Rams have just capitalized off the turnover. They've taken the lead. This is holy crap. The Jimmy Garoppolo era is what we thought it was. Trey Lance should have been starting all year. We would have been in the playoffs. Trey Lance could have won 9 games. Why are we 9-8? The Saints are winning. Trey Lance would have made the playoffs. Trey Lance would have been in the situation. Here's Jimmy Garoppolo. He sucks. He's a piece of crap. Mike Green is not yelling bang at anything on this team and with this quarterback. And then there you go with a little over 30 seconds left. Hits a Juwan Jennings is rookie, correct?
I don't think.
Second year player.
I think second year. He's picked him 6th round last year, I think.
Correct. So he's a sophomore player. He's a late round sophomore player. That's the guy you hit to score the game. The guy 49ers fans didn't care crap about. They all wanted another former Tennessee guy, Jalen Hurd.
Yeah.
And that's the guy you hit to tie the game with the quarterback that nobody wanted, the quarterback that neither one of us wanted. And that's what you get to tie the game and to keep the season alive. So it was a special moment. It really was. And even for as big of a Jimmy Garoppolo hater as I am, it was a special moment.
It was really special.
Special drive and special moment for both of those guys, really.
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then in overtime, they're able to get a field goal. And so they're up 27-24. The Rams get the ball. And I will let you cover this portion, how this game goes in overtime.
We'll just read the play-by-play, man.
Do it.
We'll just go play-by-play, man. Matt Stafford pass incomplete to Odell Beckham. 2nd and 10, Matthew Stafford pass incomplete to Odell Beckham. 3rd and 10, Matthew Stafford incomplete to Cooper Kupp. Penalty, CJ Mosley. Oh dear God, spot foul. Here we go.
CJ Mosley?
Rams are driving. Not CJ Mosley. Shut up.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. I ruined that bet.
We should have rolled with CJ Mosley. I'm so focused on our team building episode. Sorry. Penalty on Emmanuel Mosley. Thank you. Spot foul. But that's the play you really thought as 49ers fans, like, God dang. We had him in 2nd and 10. The pass wasn't going to be caught. Why did Emmanuel have to grab? Why did Mosley have to grab?
Right.
It was reminiscent of the Super Bowl run in 19, where it's like, do you want Witherspoon grabbing or do you want Mosley grabbing? Which one would you rather have get past you? That's what it felt like. So, and then our next play, you get Tyler Higbee for 9 yards. Sony Michel gets the first down, and then here we go. Once we get to the 2-minute warning, everybody takes a breath, and here comes freaking Ambry Thomas, who has locked down Odell Beckham Jr. all freaking game. Odell Beckham's stat line was 2 receptions for 18 yards. Ambry Thomas held him to 2 receptions for 18 yards on 5 targets. Stafford, if you're watching the game, was looking at Odell more than 5 times.
Yeah.
Ambry had him locked up all game in a game-sealing play by the cornerback who I slapped the bench for all year, was
Yes.
throwing the clipboard at all freaking year, who none of the fans on Bleacher Report and on Niners Nation and writing into Locked On and Better Rivals, none of them wanted. Makes an athletic play on the ball, breaks off the route. Odell runs the crappy route, doesn't help his quarterback out at all after he overruns it, doesn't try to come back for it. Ambry sits on it, picks it off, gets his rear end in bounds, and that's the season.
Playoffs.
Thanks for playing playoffs.
Dude.
How fitting it is that the game with everything on the line is the game, although Ambry, fourth round pick.
Third round, right?
Third round, trade up for fourth. Should have been a fourth round pick because it was a compensatory pick. How fitting that a guy that you picked after you probably should have prioritized cornerback a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
This is the guy that you're staking on to be your number one cornerback going forward. He's had a roller coaster season. Fans are sick of him already as a rookie. Wanting Josh Norman in over him, wanting Drake Kirkpatrick in over him. He's the guy that saves the season, sends you to the playoffs, and looked like the whole freaking game the number one cornerback potentially on the team going forward. As good as Emmanuel Mosley's been, Ambry Thomas was awesome. Of course, Odell's slipped a little bit, but the whole game, I don't care how good or bad Odell Beckham is, he's still Odell Beckham. He held Odell to 2 receptions for 18 yards, locked him up all game.
It was a great game. And he made the biggest play of the season. Ambry Thomas did with his first career pick. Yeah, that's right. His first career pick was the biggest play of the entire season for the San Francisco 49ers.
I will say I talked about it before, how he played against Chase Claypool in college, how he had sat out due to having colitis and autoimmune disease, how he had played against Ohio State receivers, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson when they were underclassmen, how good he was, and we just never saw it. And this is what you're seeing from Ambry now. This is what you're going to see going forward for Irish fans. This is what I saw when he was in the Michigan jersey. There's your reference for the night. Van Wert, this is what we expected to see out of him all along, was a solid guy who could ball out in press coverage, knew where he should be at in zone, and finally played confident in the biggest game of his life. And probably going forward, if Ambry gets just wrecked by Odell all game, if Odell catches that game-winning touchdown on him, that's probably it for Ambry being a starting cornerback, at least the rest of the season. Even if the 49ers stuck in the playoffs, that's probably it. And then even going forward, he's not even cementing himself in the starting potential top 3 cornerback rotation. He's fighting for a spot. But just having the game he had, the way he balled out, and then seeing John Lynch just kind of give that fist bump. This was John Lynch's guy all along. John Lynch has talked about him so much in the offseason, and to see him get his guy finally ball out and his guy get the pick and his guy play the game he did and then send his team to the playoffs because of that, that was awesome.
It was. I think Adam Peters must have had a say in drafting him too, because in the tunnel, Adam Peters hugged him and lifted him up and shook his head, and all that stuff. Adam Peters was so happy for him.
Yeah, and I remember just from Ambry's recruitment to Michigan and being a Detroit kid, and then kind of hearing about how he was from people I know of around the program and writers and things who have interviewed him. He's a great dude. And you saw that, man. I mean, Debo was just giving him a hug, like a pure, you're my brother hug, not man, you just saved our season. And then even Ayuk was coming up to him, and Juszczyk and Jimmy. It was just everybody. You could tell it wasn't just, we're happy this guy caught the interception that's not supposed to. This was we actually like this guy. Yeah. And he made
it was like
there was
little brother saving you. It's just different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is our guy.
Yeah.
He made the play.
Yeah.
Finally he made the play.
Yeah. Because he's got his hands on many. He just hasn't been able to win it at the catch point as much.
Yeah.
but he's been in position.
You
So
think about
this
the
is
Titans
great.
game, you think about the Falcons game,
Mhm.
you think about the Texans game.
Yeah.
Going up against his
He
former
should have
teammate
had a
Nico
pick
Collins.
six. Yeah. Yeah.
Should have had a pick six, dropped one
Mhm.
against his former teammate Nico Collins. We didn't talk
Yep.
about that. It's just nice to see. It's, of course, selfishly from a Michigan fan perspective, I've always loved Anthony. He's probably my favorite recruitment. I remember keeping up with him when he was a sophomore in high school and thinking, man, I love to see this guy
Mhm.
at Michigan. And he earned the number 1 jersey, which is symbolic to any university,
Mhm.
especially a historic program like Michigan.
Mhm.
To earn the right to wear the number 1 jersey. As a freshman, he wore that number and wore it his whole collegiate career. And then to see him battle through a autoimmune disease, which should have sidelined him up until the last quarter of the season. And he starts the first game of the year miraculously. He's down 15 pounds. He somehow gets himself into shape to start that game and play that season. Locks down Chase Claypool, who's the current NFL starting receiver. Locks down Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, though the rest of his team let him down. Just a great kid, a great dude, great family, great personality, and just an awesome teammate from everything I've heard, everything I've seen as a fan, as a writer. Just a great guy, and how awesome it is, even if
That
you're
is
not a
great.
Michigan fan, just to see a cool guy like this, who's the future, arguably, whether he's the number 1 cornerback, number 2, several years down the line, one of your cornerstone pieces in the secondary going forward, come up with this play in his rookie season. It's just awesome, man.
It's great. It
Can't
really
make this stuff
it
up.
truly is. And I can't think of a better moment or a better way to segue into game balls. Since it's the last regular season game and it was such a big game, normally
Sure.
me and you like to do 2 each. Let's do 3 or
Sure.
4 each because this was a special game.
All right,
And I
let's
know
do
we
4.
didn't plan this. Let's do 4. Let's go.
Let's do 4. Let's just
Back
go
to
for
back,
it.
me and you.
Let's do it.
All right. My first game ball is 2. I'll call it special teams.
Okay.
Because Robbie Gold had to sub in to punt. And he actually did a great job. Kyle Juszczyk had to sub in for place holding. And he did a fantastic job. So that's my first 2, the special teams, Gold and Juice together. Game ball.
So is that come up with 1 or 2?
It's only
Is
one.
that one?
That's
That's only
special
one. All right.
teams.
I will
Special
go. I will go with Deebo Samuel
Okay.
for having the best quarterback rating on the 49ers of a quarterback rating of 100 even, 1 for 1, 24 yards and a touchdown. He had a QBR of 100 and a quarterback rating, or a RTG rather, sorry, of 158.3, which is just outrageous. I believe I have a possible 200. So he is actual just a beast and a baller. He's a starting running back, a starting wide receiver, and apparently a starting quarterback going forward. So Deebo Samuel, I know we joke about that, but additionally, dude had almost 100 yards receiving on 4 catches. He had 95 yards, and then even just rushing, he had 45 yards on 8 carries. He's in a rushing touchdown, average over 5.5 yards carry, average almost 24 yards reception, and then threw a touchdown pass. I don't think going forward you can ever put Deebo Samuel back as the number 1 wide receiver only. There's no way. Deebo Samuel is a Swiss knife utility weapon. Mm-hmm. That is your number 1 wide receiver.
Most versatile receiver in the game, no doubt.
Yeah, your slot receiver, your change of pace back, your wildcat quarterback. He is a bigger, healthier Percy Harvin. Dude is he's just a jack of all trades, and he is, as the saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. He's a jack of all trades, master of everything. Dude is just a beast, and arguably, and arguably because of Deebo's play and his versatility, that's the reason the 49ers were even in this game. It is the reason they were in this position this late in the year with all the question marks around them, is because of Deebo Samuel in his play all year long, especially Sunday.
Absolutely right. My second one will go to another receiver, a guy who had a career game in such a huge moment, Mr. Juwan Jennings, JJ15.
JJ.
2 touchdowns receiving. What was it, like 85 yards or something like that, along those lines? He had
94.
94. Okay, yeah, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. as a guy who's picked in either the 6th or 7th round last year to become what they have been trying to force Jalen Hurts to be for years. What a great showing by him. Game ball, Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings, awesome, man. And
Yes.
that would have been the way I would have went. And then
Mhm.
just to kind of turn it around, although he only averaged 4 yards a carry, and we shout him out every week, Elijah Mitchell, man,
He's a
bell cow
beast.
back.
He's so good.
Dude is a beast, man. Again, we say this every time we give a game ball to Elijah Mitchell, but man, it's like, why did you trade up for Trey Sermon, man?
Every week.
Every week, but it just a game like this,
He keeps
Trey Sermon
emphasizing
didn't even
it.
touch the field, man, because Elijah Mitchell averaged 4 yards a carry, running into and breaking ankle tackles from Aaron Donald,
Yes.
the best player in all of football, arguably.
Yeah.
Dude still averaged 4 yards a carry, although he didn't break 100. Although it took him 20 carries to get to 85, although he averaged 4 yards even a carry, no touchdowns. He's the bell cow back, man. It's not even close. And it really felt like when Mostert went down earlier this year, it's like, man, where's the 49ers run game going to come from?
Mhm.
We're sticking to Jimmy. Mostert's out. We're not going to play Trey.
Mhm.
Where are we going to get these yards on the ground from? And then here comes 6th-round pick out of Louisiana Monroe, who nobody thought was going to be anything, who you and I talked about, had no change of direction. He was a straight line runner. And here he is as the bell cow back.
That's what
Here,
else.
just
I
a
liked
few,
him. I will say I liked him.
did like him, but
Yeah,
we
I
did
did
talk
like
about him in our preseason preview
Mhm.
as a change of pace guy, as a
Yeah.
home run hitter
Yes.
who had a hard time changing direction,
Yeah.
who had a hard time being a
Thought it
power
was just
runner.
the speed. Matt
He
Breida.
was a speed guy, bigger Matt Breida, and
Yeah.
here he is, the bell cow back,
Mhm.
who is everything other than a home run hitter, who is the bell cow back, who is a power runner. Just
Mhm.
an awesome game.
Yeah.
Played great in pass pro too against the banged up Jimmy. I'll mention that much. Picked up a ton of stunts from those defensive ends, Von Miller especially. Just had an awesome game.
Absolutely. Love it. My third game ball will go to the fan base for making that a
There
home
you go.
game for the 49ers. Just a great showing. There was so much red. It was so loud, even over the TV on those third downs. Just props to the faithful for showing up and making that a home game for our 49ers. Game ball.
I will give props to Trent Cannon for not dropping a return and not fielding a return, because it was Travis Benjamin and JaMychal Hasty who were the return men here. So we didn't have to see him get sent into another coma, and we also didn't see him drop a ball. So shout out especially to Trent Cannon, kept his stat line pure and might potentially find himself on the P squad of 49ers going into next season.
That's glorious. All right. My fourth and final game ball. Sean McVay for celebrating in the end zone and ticking off all the 49ers and maybe having a part in motivating them and coming back. For making Kyle Shanahan do the lean forward with the controller. Game ball to Sean McVay for doing just that.
I can't help but
You have to.
give a shout out to my boy Amber
You have
Thomas,
to.
my last one.
I was waiting. I knew it was last.
I didn't realize this. So I knew he was on Odell's side.
Mhm.
He was Odell's shadow the whole day.
Yeah,
It was Emmanuel Mosley as a cornerback one, play on Cooper Kupp. And, Mosley, that's the guy you want covering Cooper Kupp. He's still your cornerback number one. But Odell, he might have dropped off a little bit. He's still Odell Beckham.
Yes.
He's still a legit wide receiver.
And he's been good with the Rams.
Still a top 32 wide receiver.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize this stat once. We talked about it earlier. Odell had 2 receptions
Mhm.
for 18 yards on 5 targets. Ambry Thomas, this might not seem like much, but I want to break it down. He had 0 total tackles. He had 0 solo tackles.
Mhm.
So he had no tackles. There were none assists. He had 0 sacks. He had 0 tackles for losses. He had 0 quarterback hits. He had 0 touchdowns. And he had 1 pass deflection. What does that mean? It means that every time they threw to Odell Beckham Jr., it was either when 1, Ambry was in zone, or 2, there was another guy to assist on the tackle. Those were for 18 yards. One of them was a 13-yard play. That play came when Ambry was sitting in zone. Another guy picked him up and tackled him. I forget who it was that tackled Odell. That means that Ambry had him locked down the whole freaking day. On those other 3 targets, didn't matter. Ball wasn't even close. One of them, he deflected. The other, Ambry had him locked up. What a freaking game from a rookie who has been doubted all year long, who's only 22 years old, who is the future, in my opinion, as a homer, gladly, and who I will be buying the jersey of in this offseason, is arguably the cornerback number 1 on this team going forward. Just a great kid, a great story. We talked about him ad nauseum earlier. The way he locked up Odell, whether he's a current superstar, former, however you rank Odell right now, he's still a stud. Any team would want Odell. The 49ers even inquired about Odell to get him on the team when Cleveland was wanting to dump him. The fact that Ambry locked him up is a first-year guy who's not a first-round pick. He's not a second-round pick. He was a back end, like you mentioned, back end of the 3rd round. If it wasn't for the compensatory pick, would have been a 4th-round pick. Just a great kid and a great story for everything he's fought through in his high school career, coming up in a rough area of Detroit, through all the things he fought through in college, climbing up the depth chart, and then dealing with colitis and autoimmune disease. Here he is finally making his impact with the 49ers, locking up one of the best wide receivers, arguably the last 10 years, for the whole day. Didn't even let him get close to the ball. The fact that Odell got targeted 5 times and Ambry didn't even have to do anything. And Odell only had 2 receptions for 18 yards. That should tell you how that went.
Yeah.
The fact that Stafford didn't even look Odell's way. More than that.
There is no doubt that him and Mosley are the 2 starters for the playoffs. No question about it. Him and Mosley.
Arguably. Yeah. And even going forward, man, that game Sunday, and then however Ambry plays in the playoffs, however Mosley plays in the playoffs, obviously cornerback still a position of need, but just the potential you saw from him playing against Odell, and you've seen the flashes since he got inserted into the rotation, playing against the Bengals, playing against the Titans, playing against the Texans. Here he is on his biggest stage of his career with everything on the line. There's no doubt in my mind if one of these starters sticks between him and Mosley, it's going to be Ambry, based on his age, based on his potential, on his athleticism, his size. That's the guy you want, whether he's cornerback 1 or 2. It don't matter. No matter what you do in free agency, no matter what you do in the draft, what you do in the trade market, Ambry's one of your first 2 starters going forward for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to have that all add, because even with Richard Sherman, he had a great bounce back year or 2 here with us. Wish him all the best. But even then, it wasn't like it was just arguably one of the best cornerbacks in all football. I'm certainly not saying Ambry's like that, but at least you've got a young stud who can potentially get on that trajectory. You're not getting over the hill veteran that you're trying to fit into your scheme like we've seen them do since the Jim Harbaugh era. You have a young stud for once, it feels like, who can go out there and do battle and not get worked the whole game, who's going to give you a position to fight and not just hope that he knows enough based on scheme and everything to sit in coverage and not make enough mistakes. This feels like a guy who can actually lock up the side of the field based on what we saw this past Sunday.
And he's still a rookie. He's obviously, we talked
Still
about
a rookie.
Previewing the season. Me and you talked about how don't be surprised if he starts out a little slow but finishes the season strong, because he hasn't played in so long due to his health issues. So, I mean, and that's what's come to be.
No, and I know I just keep rambling about it, but that's the last time I'll just leave it on. Just what a game to show up in.
Yes.
As a rookie, as a guy, you and I both rooted for, even more so. Just
you had to win.
You had to win this game, and you're going up against one of the best receivers in football in the last 10 years. Odell is still Odell. Everybody knows Odell. You know what he is. He is what he is. Even if he's regressed a little bit or not. And the fact that Ambry played the way he did, man, it's special.
It's pretty awesome.
Makes it feel really good.
They're going to have another tough assignment on Sunday because the Dallas Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. So both these corners.
Very true.
And Michael Gallup. That's what K1 and Jimmy Ward is for. But looking at this game, this matchup, it's interesting. Dak Prescott is kind of on fire right now, especially with these receivers, and the offense has been on fire lately. They have really good pass rushers, Dallas does. DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, and of course Micah Parsons, and breakout year he's had as a rookie too. But I will say, there's definitely a formula for the 49ers to control and win this game. Dallas has not been very good against the run this year.
Mm-mm.
If the 49ers can come out and play their brand of ball, control the pace, maybe they even pull off one of them crazy 10-minute opening drives like they have before. If they can do that, keep that offense off the field and off rhythm, the 49ers can win this game in Dallas.
When you look at their schedule, sure, they put up 51 against the Eagles and 56 against the Cowboys. But how did they get it? They got it through the air.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott only had 9 carries as your leading rusher against the Washington football team. TBD on the name. And then he had 18 carries for 87 yards each against the Eagles when they put up 51. So the formula is to keep everything in front, make them rely on the ground game. And you look at the rest of their schedule, it's like, man, the games that they blow teams out is when they don't have to run the football. It's when they're running it at a bad clip, or they're running it less than 15 times a game, and they're just relying through the air, blowing teams out. They don't have to run it. That's what you're wanting to do this week. And what a good matchup for the 49ers too. A team that plays the way they play press zone, the way they played the Rams especially, they kept everything in front of them. Cooper Kupp went for over 110 yards, nearly to $120. 7 receptions, I believe. But they still kept everything in front of them. That was what their offense was relying on, was Cooper Kupp. They didn't just feast with that running back stable. They didn't just feast with Tyler Higbee. They relied on Cooper Kupp and kept everything in front of them. And they just said, hey, if you're going to beat us, beat us. And the Cowboys present a similar matchup, in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb presents a similar challenge that Cooper Kupp does. He's kind of an elusive guy who's a good route runner, got great hands. Amari Cooper is kind of that same role as Odell's in right now. A little bit of hate to say it, but a little bit of an over-the-hill guy who at one time was probably top 10 receiver. Still has all the talent in the world. Just doesn't quite have that first step in the same rate as Odell. And then Van Jefferson and Michael Gallup is a great comparison as well. Yeah. Just because they're kind of more physical guys, have a little bit of speed, not the most polished, but they can hurt you if you leave them open.
Absolutely.
So to me, it presents a similar matchup as the Rams did. However, I would hate to play Aaron Donald more than I would Micah Parsons, as good as he's been. That's a tougher matchup for me. I would hate to play Matthew Stafford more than I would Dak Prescott. That's a tougher matchup for me. That's my opinion. I would hate to play Sean McVay more than I would, my God, Mike McCarthy.
Yes.
I would hate to play in SoFi Stadium more than I would Dairy's World. That's my opinion. This feels like the sugar-free version of the Rams. And I've thought like that. I haven't mentioned it, but I've kind of looked at the Cowboys like that all year. And especially leading up into this game, their wins are deceptive. When they play good teams like the Cardinals, they squeak by 3 points.
That's the thing I was going to bring up is
sure.
The Cowboys this year are 6-0 against the NFC least, 6-5 against all other teams.
There you go. So just kind of breaking down their marquee matchups. They lose the Buccaneers week 1 by 2. They beat the Chargers by 3.
Yeah.
They beat the Patriots in overtime with a walk-off touchdown. They beat the Vikings by 4. They lose to the Chiefs by 10. They lose to the Raiders by 3. They beat the Saints by 10. They lose to the Cardinals by 30. So those are their marquee matchups. Of course, you got the Eagles mixed in there, but you're seeing these teams twice a year. I'm not really reading into that too much. They did beat the Eagles 41-21 in their first matchup, and then 51-26 in the second half. Washington football team 27-20, and then 56-14. It's hard to read into those divisional matchups. But when you look at the meat of it, like we talked about, 25-22 against the Cardinals, 36-33 in overtime against the Raiders, 19-9 against the Chiefs. 35-29 Patriots, 2017 Chargers, and then 31-29 Buccaneers. It's tough, man. They seem like a team, as always, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they seem like a typical Cowboys team where they're over-evaluated because of the Cowboys going to the postseason.
No, I know exactly what you mean. And like I say, I think there is a legitimate and realistic formula for the 49ers to actually win this game.
Break down your three. Sorry. I just want to get to this real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Break down your 3 keys to victory. Because you talked about the game plan a couple times, that there is a formula, that there is a game plan. What are your 3 keys to victory?
Establish the run. Don't turn the ball over. I can't think how to work. Discipline with penalties. Woo, I could not think of the word discipline.
Don't commit unforced errors.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't want to see them get beat on pass interference. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be it. Protect the ball, establish the run, avoid penalties as much as possible.
Yeah.
Play a clean game. Honestly, play your ball and play a clean game.
No, I'm with you. I'm just looking at some of these stats from the games that they were playing in. It's pretty simple formula. Quarterbacks played clean. Running game was efficient. That's what won the game. So that's what you're looking to see going forward here in this game. Look at that Patriots game. I thought that was pretty indicative of what this game is going to be here on Sunday. Dak Prescott threw for 445, and they won in overtime, 35-29. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but you just look at that score. Patriots defense is good. They're probably very good. I don't necessarily consider them elite of elite. Mac Jones is certainly not elite of elite. And it took Dak to throw for 445.
Yeah.
For them to win the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're going to look for this game is just make Dak beat you through the air. You're keeping those receivers in front of you the same way they did against the Rams. You're keeping CD in front of you. You're keeping Michael Gallup in front of you. And you're making a veteran and Amari Cooper beat you. And that's probably who Ambry Thomas matchup's going to be, is against Amari. And be like, hey, man, just don't let this seasoned veteran beat you.
Yeah.
Let CD do what he's going to do, same way Cooper Kupp did what he's going to do, and make them beat us through the air. And we're going to lean on the run game, like you said. We're going to not commit stupid penalties and give them good field position. We're going to lean on that run game, keep the ball in their hands, and hopefully keep this a game that doesn't turn into a shootout, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Lower score. I think the over-under is 50.5 for this game, I believe. I saw. Okay, yeah, 50.5. I think the 49ers would like if it was under. If this game went under.
100%.
Yeah. The Cowboys would like if it went over. So, hey, the Cowboys are 3-point favorites, so the odds makers are implying that at a neutral site, this is a pick 'em. They're actually giving the Niners some respect here, I think, as they should. Niners are one of the hottest teams in the league. Since week 8, they have more wins than anybody, I believe, in the NFC at least. Let's see. Yeah, in the NFC, they have 8 wins. No one else has 8. Yeah, they're a hot team right
Correct. No, when you think about it, too, the way the 49ers travel, you're not having a home field advantage no matter where you play.
Those fans, the faithful.
They're going to travel, man, and it don't matter if it's a playoff team or not.
Yep.
We've seen it time and time again when the Cowboys have been good, when the Cowboys have been bad, 49ers always turn up well in Jerry's world. A lot of 49ers fans, that part of the country. Just seems like a game they've got a shot in. Like you said, that was a great point. Anytime you see the spread less than 3 points or less, it's a pick 'em. They're giving the 3-point advantage to the home team. And that's what we're seeing right now. Cowboys favored by 3. Over under 51 points. They're expecting a close game. What's your prediction on the game?
I'm going to say just 1 point different than last week and half a point under the over-under. 27-23 49ers.
All right. Well, I'm pretty close to with you. I'm gonna go actually over under. I'll go over, hit it at 52 points, and I'll take the 49ers beating the spread 28-24 49ers.
Nice.
With over under at 52.
Okay, yeah. Just over.
Which it feels like when
But still,
Vegas predicts a game line like that, 51 points, over under 3, they're expecting a 28-24 kind of game.
Yeah.
They're expecting it to go one way or the other. One team's going to settle for a field goal, and it really feels like the 49ers got all the momentum going into this game. Of course, Dallas coming off a big win against Philly. But again, the games that they've struggled in have been against top-tier competition. 49ers defense is turning into postseason form. The offense looks very good, as it generally does this time of year. So here we go.
Here we go. This is it. This is such a great match. The NFL has to be stoked about getting this first round matchup, man. The
100%.
49ers and the Cowboys to start the playoffs, man. How awesome is that? And just going back to the 90s, man, this is great.
Well, think about the last time that Cowboys beat the 49ers. I certainly can't remember in my lifetime. Not that they always play every year, but every time it seems like they play, the 49ers come out on top. And you look back in history, saw a video earlier. It was actually 49ers fans screaming to the abyss about Brandon Ayuk needs to pull a Terrell Owens and score a touchdown on the first drive and then spike the ball at the midfield star. So we'll see what happens. But, man, I tell you what, 49ers fans feel confident. Certainly feels like they've got all the momentum, at least from our end. And I think the Cowboys are going to struggle in this game, in my opinion.
I really do think the 49ers are going to find some success, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
I will say this much before we conclude. Out of all the possible matchups, Tampa Bay, Los Angeles Rams, Dallas, this felt like the game that we needed. This felt like the matchup that you wanted.
This is
you
great.
Didn't want, and even Arizona should have Arizona won the division. Though the Cardinals might not have beat the 49ers 3 times in a row, though the 49ers could have beat the Rams 3 times in a row. You don't want to take that chance.
I do
the
like
Cowboys are the matchup you want.
Mhm.
They're a team that tries to rely on a dynamic passing game, but when they've gone up against top flight talent, they try to lean on a run game that's not non-existent, but struggles with guys like Tony Elliott, or not Tony Elliott, what's his face? Forgetting their second string running back, and then Ezekiel Elliott.
Tony Pollard.
Tony Elliott's the offensive coordinator for Clemson, just took a job at Virginia. Yeah, Tony Pollard, who's a second string running back, who's gotten more carries than Ezekiel Elliott oftentimes this season, and then Ezekiel Elliott, who's over the hill. Yeah. That's not what they want to do, and that's what the 49ers are going to almost try to force their hand into doing, it feels like.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited for this game.
This is a matchup you wanted with Tony Elliott.
That's right. This can be a great game. All right, man. Before we do conclude, we have 2 things left to do. Your fact of the week and my little news announcement. Which one should I do first? Or which one should happen first?
I think we should here's what we should do. Okay. Because I feel like the fact of the week in our announcement, as special as it is, I feel like they need a smoother transition.
Okay.
So I think we should predict our 2 players of the game, offense and defense.
Okay. For the 49ers?
And then for this game. And then reiterate our scoring game prediction. Because you kind of alluded to it. Because you predicted 27-23, I predicted 28-24. But predict a game prediction for this game, how we think it's going to go, our offensive MVP, our defensive MVP. And then we'll go to fact of the week, and then we'll end with our special announcement.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go through all of it, and then you can go through all of it.
Sounds good.
All right.
Actually, let me go first. Because
go for it.
Then they can circle back to my fact of the week.
Deal.
It's awesome. Yeah. So then I don't have to just ramble.
Yeah,
always ramble. All right. As we said, 2024 49ers offensive MVP. You know where I'm going. Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell will say he breaks about 20 on the ground, 25 carries, $120, averages over 5 yards carry, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Defensive MVP, Ambry Thomas picks off Picks, I had to go there. Had to respect the way.
Yes.
Picks off the Cowboys twice. We'll say, because they're going to target Amari Cooper. Granted, that CD is going to be getting some good coverage from Mosley, and K'Wan Williams is going to be locking up Michael Gallup across the middle. So Ambry Thomas too in INTs. This game is going to come down to the Cowboys wanting to exert their will on the ground. 49ers are not going to let that happen. They're going to have to keep them through the air, keeping everything in front of them. You got two dynamic cornerbacks now. Josh Norman's not on the field, and neither is Jay Kirkpatrick. You're not getting beat across the top like you were before. Keeping in front of you. 49ers win this game 28-24.
All right. I'm going to say my offensive MVP is the same guy. I think Elijah Mitchell's going to have a game. I really do. I think your stat line prediction is very close to what I was thinking. I could see 110, 120, and a touchdown or two. I think he's going to come out and have quite a day. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I am going to go the guy who in 2019, as a rookie, was utterly dominant in the playoffs. And I think we are going to get playoff Nick Bosa once again.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm going to say he has 2 sacks against Dallas on Sunday.
I think he could have more.
And he takes over the game and shows Micah Parsons who the best edge rusher in this game is, even though Micah Parsons is awesome. That guy is awesome. So I think Nick Bosa has quite a day. I'm going to say that the game goes something like this, where in the fourth quarter, it is 20-20, tie game. And the 49ers get the ball and do about an 8-minute drive that ends in an Elijah Mitchell touchdown, where it's 27-20. Yeah, 27-20. Dallas gets down the field, have a difficult decision to make on fourth down on whether to go for the tie or go for the field goal. There's just enough time left where they think maybe they can get the ball again. They kick the field goal. It's 23-27. They can't get the ball back. That's game. 27.
That feels like a Mike McCarthy decision.
It really does.
I was about to get on to you when you said it was the fourth quarter, 2020, and then I'm thinking about 27-23, and you're talking about the 49ers. I'm like, why would the Cowboys kick a field goal? Oh, Mike McCarthy's their coach.
There's going to be just enough time left, like 4 minutes. We're like, okay, we can probably stop them and get the ball back, but they won't be able to do it.
Completely agree.
That's my official prediction.
That's good summary, man.
Josh,
I'll go. Well, I said
I messed it up.
Well, no, you're good. I said 28-24. Just to clarify, since you did that, I'll go 24-21. Jimmy Garoppolo leads them on a game-winning drive.
Ooh, Jimmy G, baby.
I'll give it to him.
All right, sweet. Well, now you can give us something else. The fact of the week.
Fact of the week. During World War II, this is the right side of history. During World War II, not the Great War, but World War II. During World War II, a Great Dane. You're familiar with the Great Dane, right? The dog, big dog, the Great Dane. During World War II, a Great Dane named Juliana was awarded the Blue Cross Medal. She extinguished an incendiary bomb by peeing on it. So kudos to Juliana, the Great Dane, who extinguished an incendiary bomb by taking a whiz on it. And speaking of taking a whiz, this podcast has gone on for over an hour, and I've had a cup of coffee, so I'm not far behind Juliana.
That is a really good one. I like that. I don't know how you find this stuff. It's glorious. Don't tell me how.
There you go, man.
But man, it's good stuff. All right. Before we get out of here, me and Josh do have some exciting news. We're going to, yes, we're going to really commit once the season is over and dive deeper into it. But me and Josh are going to make a website for this podcast that you can find our videos on. You can access our channels and our Twitter page on it and all that. And we'll be uploading. We mentioned the idea of an article a week each. We're not sure quite yet. But that's just a baseline. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe every 2 weeks. We'll see. Maybe. But we'll both be uploading articles. 49yarddash.com will be the name once I actually pay for the domain, because I've just been through the testing phase right now. But we're really looking forward to starting it. And one more little thing throw in that Josh doesn't know. I've actually written 2 articles already. So
Nice.
I was bored and still sick early this week, so I wrote a couple, and we're gonna discuss other article ideas, and we're looking forward to it. So you'll also
Nice,
be able
guys.
to read our thoughts. Yeah,
If you
that's
haven't,
it.
if our several fans haven't been sick of us before, you're definitely gonna be sick of us now. But no, we're excited. Me and Steve texted about the 49ers, pretty much throughout the week. We come up with, in fact, we've got a live NFL mock draft and big board on Google Sheets right now that we're planning on updating regularly. And that's kind of what led to this idea. So all the thoughts that we're kind of texting each other and putting in word form, so you might as well throw them up online for you guys to read. So we're looking forward to it, especially as we talked about before, 49ers having some free agent decisions to make. Got Emmanuel Mosley, Ambry Thomas. Do they need a cornerback or not? Do they need another edge rusher or not? How's interior the defensive line looking? Wide receiver. We're going to discuss their free agent needs and draft needs and things, and really looking forward to this offseason discussing that with you guys.
Absolutely. I will put the link to the website in the description below for this video. I've always wanted to be a real YouTuber and point to a direction where something is, during a video.
Smash that like button down
Smash
below.
like, subscribe.
Smash the crap out of it, for the love of God. Otherwise, all sick. Yeah, you better hit the bell and smash that like button. Otherwise, Juliana, the Great Dane's going to piss all over your front porch. Better hurry up and do it.
As of now, I have uploaded the 49ers best and worst case playoff scenarios, and then also Jimmy or Trey 2022. So just a couple things. If you're interested, you can check out. So we have that, and me and Josh will discuss some stuff that he wants to talk about too. I have a few ideas, but we're looking forward to it. So hopefully, if you enjoy listening to this, you'll enjoy reading that as well.
Yeah, this week, 49-yard dash on YouTube. Next week, 49yarddash.com. And then the week after that, 49yard dash Patreon. So you pay our salaries. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. But that is all. The 49ers are in the playoffs against the Dallas Cowboys. What a throwback. So hopefully the faithful shows up to this, and there's a lot of red in that stadium once again. Dallas is asking the fans to do a whiteout. Let's throw some red in there. No white jerseys. No white, only red 49ers jerseys.
Just one thing before we end. Do you really think the Cowboys fans are smart enough to do a whiteout?
there'll be some
all they drive is lowered or lifted F-150s. They wear the same Terrell Owens jerseys, Dak Prescott jerseys, and Tony Romo jerseys. They don't know any other player exists. Either skinny jeans or saggy jeans, cowboy boots or Air Force Ones. There's no in between. Do you really think that they're going to step away from their style to wear a whiteout? No. They're more concerned about looking cool. Yeah. No matter what side, whether you're country or hood, they want to look fresh to death.
Absolutely.
They're not doing a whiteout. This is going to be a red out. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Let's get some. Heck yeah, my man. Hopefully next week when we get back on here, we'll be talking about the 49ers and their next playoff matchup, which more than likely will be the Packers. So that would be very interesting. Yeah, with Luke. Luke promises he'll finally show up. We'll see.
Luke's like my dad. One of these days he'll come back around.
That's right. Well, that was all that we have. This has been the 49-Yard Dash podcast. I'm Steven. That's Josh. We'll see you guys next week to hopefully discuss a second playoff matchup. Peace out, everybody.
Vote for Joe Jorgensen.